Hello and welcome to everyone. This is the fourth day of 6 European Blockchain Convention. I hope you're excited. We have a very, very exciting keynote in front of us. Coming up now, Jeff from Huobi. Welcome on stage. We have you again today. We had you the other day on our panel, The Future of Crypto Exchanges. And today you're going to do a keynote. So welcome on stage.
Thank you. So I'll just go ahead. Yeah, it's good. It's good to see everyone here. It's very exciting to be here. I know it's been a couple of days now, so we're learning a lot. We're learning a lot. It's been a great event. So my name is Jeff, and I am the director of global strategy at Huobi. And what it means to be global strategy is I help lead the entire global expansion initiatives for Huobi, right? So that includes how to break into every market, really evaluating the market's needs, every country's needs, what the users want. And what it means to expand. So we know, like, for example, an exchange, right? An exchange or a product or a lot of these items in crypto are digital, right? So they're very digital, they're online. So what does it really mean to expand into a market, right? Because everything's online, everyone around the world can access it, right? For us, it's a couple of things. Global expansion really entails, we talked a lot about regulatory, right? How do you comply with the local governments? How do you comply with local regulations to really enter the market? Second, it's all about the users, right? What are the user needs? What kind of products or what kind of gaps that we can try to fill with our products, right? So it's really about these two things. And then that's really what I focus on. So yeah. So today we're talking about, a really interesting topic, right? How crypto is redefining finance, right? So let me share my slide, and then I will share with everyone kind of our views on how finance is going to be evolving and changing with the development of crypto. So let me go ahead and share. Okay. So how cryptocurrency is redefining finance, right? So to start off, let's talk about the current state, right? Bitcoin has reached it has passed $1 trillion. Right now at the current state, it's around $922 billion. Ethereum is about $500 billion, about $475 billion. And the entire DeFi market cap right now is $250 billion. So what does this mean is that we can see that a lot of players, whether it be retail users, but more importantly, a lot of large institutions have been coming in and either putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet or holding crypto holdings or digital assets, right? So this is really great for the industry as a whole, right? When institutions are coming in, it's good for the overall development of crypto, of the entire ecosystem, of even projects or even users. All of it's going to be up, right? That's what this means to us. When we see a number like this, it means that it's finally a large player that everyone's taking a look at, right? We talked about yesterday that large players such as PayPal, such as Twitter, such as Visa, MasterCard, they're all looking into, hiring crypto analysts, hiring researchers, breaking their product line into crypto, right? So this is really good for the development of the entire industry, but we can take a look. Bitcoin's ranked 7th in comparison to companies and assets in the world, and Ethereum's ranked 15th, right? So these things are now kind of in the spotlight, in the sight of everyone. So what does that mean for us, right? So let's take a look at redefining finance. So I just Googled this. What is finance, right? When we think about finance, the first definition is the management of large amounts of money, especially by governments or large companies, right? That's the traditional definition of what finance is. And how does crypto redefine this? If we just look at the definition, we can see that as we're going through DeFi, as we're getting more decentralized, as we're letting more players around the world build together, it no longer requires governments or large companies to be managing this money, right? That's the essential core of DeFi. And that's the essential core of how we're changing the world, right? So when we take a look at this, we see that we no longer need this middleman. We no longer need these centralized large organizations to be involved in finance, right? And then the second definition is providing funding, right? So usually when we think of finance in the traditional sense, we're thinking about, raising capital, we're thinking about how funds are moving in and out of a company, how that affects, a company's operations, a company's development. But in crypto finance or DeFi, we kind of see that there's new ways to do this. There are new ways to be getting money. There are new assets, whether it be, we talk about NFTs, we talk about different types of crypto assets. there's new ways that things can hold value, right? They can hold value on the chain. They can hold value in new modes, new shapes. So that's how we're really going to be looking at it, right? How can we have these things change how users or how institutions can be receiving money? Okay, so one way is, let's talk about DeFi, decentralized finance, right? What are the main aspects of DeFi that are kind of changing how we look at things or how we operate, right? For one, we talk about smart contracts that are cutting out the middleman. As mentioned earlier, before, if we think about traditional stocks, if we think about traditional, banking or even like trading, there's always going to be a middleman or a broker, right? When we have smart contracts now, they're automated, they're safe, they're protected, and most importantly, they're built by everyone, right? It doesn't take one centralized organization to be building these, to be setting these rules for the general public. We can be looking at these smart contracts that can actually be infrastructure for the future of finance, right? And then we talk a lot about DAOs. I'll go into that later, but these things are being built by the people. Okay, the second thing is, how can we revolutionize financial services, right? And we touched upon this yesterday. A lot of other great speakers touched on this, is that before, people did not have access to banking, right? People, unless you were part of the, I would say, upper middle class, or a very wealthy individual, you didn't have access to a wide variety of financial services, such as lending, such as investing, or investing in general, or even stocks, right? You can't buy stocks with just a couple dollars. You had to have a minimum portfolio balance to have an agent or a broker. So what we're doing here now in crypto is that people, you see a lot of ads, people are buying crypto assets with even $1, right? You can even buy, we're looking at SHIB and other, Dogecoin stuff with even cents, right? So this is, again, creating access for everyone and allowing people to really be involved in the financial world, to be able to participate and have their hands on these innovative tools. Okay, and then we talk about governance models, right? This is, again, a very important aspect that we usually have to have someone centralized, right? We have a bank or a government or some kind of large, oh, sorry. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm getting a note. Okay, let me put this back on. Okay, so yeah, we're looking at how governments and how centralized organizations are controlling everything, right? They're setting rates, they're taking fees, they're taking commissions in the middle. But with DeFi, users are the ones that are creating all this. Users are the ones that are setting the rules, or that are voting, and users can all invest. Okay, and that's kind of the last part is, we can all sum it all up with, it's a low barrier to entry, right? People, we mentioned yesterday that people in a lot of countries do not have access to banks, do not have access to credit cards, to loans. But with this, even someone with a couple dollars or a couple $100 can actually be involved in staking and mining. Liquidity farming, can be earning APY. We mentioned yesterday that some people never even heard of APY before crypto. They never really even thought about it. But now we're giving them access. We're giving them these tools to be earning. Okay, so I think overall DeFi itself, it's going to be the future. It's going to be, we're taking traditional financial products and kind of morphing them, right? So that everyone can be involved, everyone can set the rules, and everyone can be earning. Okay, so let me go on for all. Access for all. So this, what we're really talking about here is a lot of times now to reach these products, to reach these special assets, to reach these mining protocols. We use wallets as gateways, right? It's either you go through a centralized exchange, or if you want to be totally decentralized, right, you can even have wallets that host your own private keys, right? Your private keys are not going to be with a centralized organization, right? I know a lot of people don't really think about this aspect, but when you have your own private keys and when you have your own full control of your wallet, then that's truly being decentralized, right? That's truly having true ownership of every single aspect end to end of finance, right? So we were pushing out the Huobi cloud wallet now. But a lot of these wallets now are allowing users to have this gateway, to have this platform, to be entering these innovative tools. So one is the custodial approach. You can hold your own private keys. You can hold your own assets. You can choose what you want. Two is these projects are connecting different chains, right? So an example is, for example, if a person lived in one country, say India, and then there's another asset in, let's say, America, right? They're on different stock exchanges. They're on different, investment platforms. It's very difficult for people around the world to be accessing all these types of different assets, right? But however, in the digital world, everyone can participate, everyone can invest, everyone can access them, right? They might be on different chains, but now there's a lot of different, products that allow you to jump cross chain, that allow you to kind of buy assets on different chains. So again, it's transforming how people can access and have participation in all these different innovative projects, whether they be coins, tokens, or entire companies, right? You can invest in a lot of companies. Okay, and then the last part is integration with SEX, right? So with centralized exchanges, a lot of people say no centralization. We want to be decentralized. We want to be decentralized. But actually, the world right now, we kind of see it as we're moving towards a more decentralized state. But however, at some point, we still need a lot of support and a lot of help from centralized organizations. For example, the main thing is liquidity, right? It's very difficult, and we know with the early stages of Compound, Uniswap, it's very difficult for a DEX, for example, to have liquidity, right? It's very you have to keep motivating users, with airdrops or other items to be staying in your chain, right? To be staying in your DEX. But for now, that's kind of a very large obstacle that a lot of people face, right? So right now with these wallets, we integrate with centralized exchanges so that users can still have this centralized liquidity to be buying, to be able to buy and take what you want. So right now at this stage, before all the liquidity is integrated on all these different DEXs, it's still very important to have this integration with centralized exchanges. Okay, next. So another part of how finance is different is with public blockchains, right? So public blockchains really give everyone access. Anyone who has an idea, anyone who is a developer who wants to create something by themselves, they have this access, right? And with public blockchains, we talked about DAOs. It's very equal, right? You can be participating in the governance. You can help set the rules. You can help be deciding. There's a lot of oracles now too. You can help be part of these nodes and these oracles and these decision makers in this entire governance, right? So this is really another difference that how finance is going to be changing throughout time, right? We're going to be allowing more people to actually be hands-on. You're not only just a customer, but you're a customer and a contributor and a manager. Okay, transparency, of course, is with these protocols, with these different blockchains. You can see what's going on, right? There are more and more tools now that are pulling information from different blockchains that make it easy to use, make it easy to view for users to see what exactly is going on. If we looked at crypto or blockchain maybe 3 or 4 years ago, no one really knows what it is. They know like, oh, Bitcoin is, what's mining? It's like doing some kind of math problem and getting some money, right? But now, with all these protocols, they're actually more people are accessing, like Etherscan, stuff like that to see, what's really going on. What are the transactions? Even like we talk about NFT marketplaces like OpenSea, people can actually be seeing every bid, right? So it's bringing the world closer to what's going on behind the scenes in blockchain. And of course, community, right? With public blockchains, when you're involved, when people are participating, when you have your own money inside, then people are more likely to be, to be building this community, to be passionate, to be working with each other, right? I think a great example of this is, I'll speed it up. I think I'm running out of time. But a great example of this is a while back, Kickstarter, right? Kickstarter was very hot. And I would say that for me, it was like, that was like the first decentralized thing, right? You don't have to sign a contract. You don't have to do anything. If you like a project, you could throw some money on it, right? And public blockchains to me is almost like the same thing, right? Anyone can participate. Anyone can be buying a token. You can buy $1. You can buy, $1,000, whatever you want. And then you're participating. You're going to be focusing on this thing. And when we have this, when we have a lot of people around the world being participants, right? Owning shares of digital tokens, that's what's going to build the entire ecosystem of crypto. Okay, I'll try to speed it up. So yeah, DeFi does have some obstacles at this point. It's really institutional investors, from the compliance aspect, from transparency aspect, from a KYC aspect. It's very difficult for them to be on board because it's hard to track, right? On a public chain or on a DEX or an entirely decentralized wallet, you don't really know what types of assets are going in there. You don't know who's on there. You don't know if there's hackers, if there's people with ill will. You don't know where the money's coming from. It's really hard for a lot of institutional investors to be on board. Of course, that's still changing. There's a lot of new tools and utilities out there to help trace and help view the integrity of the assets on there. So that's going to be changing, but that is a obstacle right now. And of course, security. When the beauty of a centralized exchange is that there's someone liable. They may have an office, they may have a team, right? They may have people who take responsibility if something happens. But on a lot of decentralized protocols, a lot of people are anonymous, right? A lot of people do not, you can't track someone down, right? So this might be a bit of a trust issue, if you will, for a lot of institutions or other investors. So that's still going to be a problem right now. Okay, and I'll speed up. A couple things. NFTs. I won't talk too much on this. I know a lot of other panelists have talked a lot, but yeah, NFTs are also changing the future of finance, right? If you're an artist, back then, like a couple years ago, it's really hard for you to share your art with the entire world. Of course, we have things like eBay or other like artist bidding platforms, but now with NFTs, it makes it just even easier to share, right? Even with like eBay or like other auction platforms, it was difficult for you to sell your art because of payment issues, because of regional issues. But with NFTs, it's really allowing everyone to share their creations, whether it's music, art, or even like using authentication for different supply chain products. It's very easier for everyone to access, right? I think NFTs was a good bridge because one, it's allowing everyone to, well, one, it got crypto kind of really in the spotlight with a lot of celebrities buying NFTs, especially with apes and everything like that. It got crypto in the spotlight, and two, it got people interested, right? And three, it got people involved. Like I mentioned earlier, when you spend your own money on something, then you kind of start reading all the news. You start being more cognizant of everything that's going on in the ecosystem, right? So I think NFTs did a really great job with that. Okay, and then lastly, GameFi. GameFi hasn't been new, right? If we want to think about it, a long time ago when World of Warcraft was super popular, right? People were already doing that as a job, gaming as a job. People were already selling items, under the offline for cash, right? People were selling items in marketplaces. So I think that was the first look at how, World of Warcraft was super hot. Everyone loved it. People were, addicted to it. They couldn't stop playing. It was kind of like a link to the digital world. But GameFi actually makes that more standardized and more real, if you will, right? So a lot of play to earn models are allowing people to spend their time doing what they love and earning money for it, right? Of course, it's always nice to have that dream job, but now with GameFi, it makes it very feasible for anyone. Right? And we see a lot of people, through Southeast Asia, through Asia, that's really hot on GameFi. Why? Because if we look at a lot of top e-gaming teams throughout some of Europe and Asia, they're always very involved. They're always very active. Okay, I think I'm running out of time. Okay, so I think GameFi is just another model how we're going to be changing finance and changing even careers. And I'll sum it up. So I think blockchain. It's obviously we all love it, right? That's why we're watching this. It's going to change. I think we believe that it's really going to change how financial services are going to be operating. We even see banks and other traditional financial firms right now. Some of it's remaining pretty stagnant, right? Cash is on the decline. I mean, in the U.S., everything's moving digital, right? So as we see that when everything's in the digital space with this openness, right, of DeFi, everyone can contribute. We can really take the brains and the minds of everyone around the world and be seeing what they have to contribute, and that's the beauty of it. You don't have to graduate from a great college or go to a great firm to contribute. Right now, everyone can have share a piece of their mind, share their skill sets with other people around the world, and I think that's what really DeFi is about. Okay, I think I made it in time to our moderator, but thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the event.
Jeff, can we ask you a question before wrapping up? Fantastic keynote, really good. I mean, you managed to explain everything going on in DeFi, crypto, GameFi, NFTs in 20 minutes. Amazing. But just one question from the audience. I'm also interested in hearing your answer. I actually wanted to ask this question myself. So from a consumer perspective, when it comes to DeFi, it's quite complicated, to set up a MetaMask and to get access to these DeFi platforms. Because you mentioned before, so the good thing is like, just by having access to internet, you can get access to DeFi, right? Which is amazing, obviously. Thinking of that, we have 2 billion people without financial services or an account in a bank. So how do you see this in the future? I mean, how are we going to make this a bit more user-friendly?
Sure.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, if we want to talk about it before, right? First, like you said, we got to make a MetaMask. You got to go to the link. You don't even know where your money is. Sometimes your MetaMask lags. I love MetaMask, but I'm just saying, and then you don't know where your crypto is, and then there's like different accounts. It's very convoluted. Right? So I think one way that they're already doing right now is wallets are integrating with a lot of different DEXs, right? And then they're making it almost like one click, right? I mean, shout out to Huobi Cloud Wallet. We really make it easy. You guys check it out. But it's like, we want to try to make a wallet have the experience of a centralized exchange. That's what we want to do. I mean, a lot of people hate the word centralized, but a centralized exchange, I mean, in the beginning, they're all centralized, right? Like what we want to do is we want to create a product that's almost like a one click. You load your money in, we have connection to fiat gateways or P2P channels. You have the money in there and it automatically connects to different chains. And then the experience from the front end is almost like just a regular exchange or a regular wallet, right? So we're already gearing towards that. And the reason for this is by creating it and making it easy to use, you're not only going to, create a great product that's easy to use, but actually you're bringing more and more people in. I mean, even myself, when I first started like mining, right? I didn't want to link a MetaMask to this. Like, dude, I'm just only going to pay with $100 on this new coin. I don't really want to go through all that, right? So, but by making it one click away, more people are going to be involved. More people are going to be able to buy these assets, and then as we go, the entire market cap of all digital assets are going to go up, right? So I think it's really these light products that are going to make it happen.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jeff. Amazing to see you again. And thank you to the audience. And now let's continue with the next edition. I mean, not next,
All right,
next panel. Thank you, Jeff. See you soon. Bye-bye.